Good evening to the dreamers, the romantics, and the devoted watchers of love's unpredictable choreography. You're tuned in to Whispers of Turkish Stars, the corner of the internet where glitter is only the doorway and feeling is the destination. Tonight we step far beyond hemlines and spotlights to witness a confession that turned a runway of cameras into a runway to the heart. Before we begin, take a breath with us and settle in. If you enjoy stories that explore the soul beneath the spectacle, tap subscribe, press like, and if you want to support the storytelling that keeps this community glowing, the join button is your invitation. Your presence is the warm light that keeps our stage lit. The Lstyle Awards are famous for chaos wrapped in couture, a place where the loudest dress often tries to drown out the quiet truth. Yet this year, the noise softened the moment Özge Yağız stepped onto the crimson path. She didn't just arrive, she appeared like a promise. In a dress that looked as if night itself had learned how to shimmer, she turned every flash into a spark that couldn't help but find her. The cut whispered respect for her figure without shouting, and the details balanced restraint with bravado in a way only a true star can carry. Her hair, left with that certain ease only confidence can give, flowed as if it had been waiting for this exact evening, and her makeup served her expression instead of stealing it. She wasn't merely styled, she was centered. From that first step, the room agreed on one thing: this was her night. But the true headline did not belong to fabric, nor to the trophies on their pedestals. It belonged to a small circle of microphones after the ceremony where the air was cooler, the voices less rehearsed, and the careful walls of celebrity loosened. There, amidst the rustle of gowns and the soft clatter of cameras being lowered, Özge faced a question that always trails her like a shadow: what about Gökberk Demirci? The expected answer would have been a practiced detour, the kind that keeps gossip hungry and hearts guessing. Instead, she allowed that unmistakable warmth to reach her eyes and chose honesty. Her words, simple and yet startling, felt like a bell struck in a quiet chapel. She didn't wrap herself in mystery. She didn't hide behind calendar talk or career schedules. She said, in essence, that she and Gökberk feel a real eagerness to marry, because each day life itself shows them how priceless it is to share it. Not urgency born of fear, urgency born of gratitude. A vow to honor time, not outrun it. And the room, in its own way, stilled. Think about the courage inside that sentiment. In an industry where commitment is often postponed for strategy, and feelings are saved for safer seasons, she admitted that the future called their names with a voice too clear to ignore. She reminded everyone that clocks were invented by people, but longing was not. She reminded us that love, when it knows itself, doesn't always ask for permission. Those close to Özge later murmured that this moment was no impulsive flourish. They described her private life lately as serene, the kind of calm that doesn't quiet ambition but feeds it. Work has been threaded with steadiness, friends have watched her glow with a contentment that refuses to dim when the cameras stop. And at the heart of that calm is a partnership with Gökberk that insiders describe as solid as a lighthouse, steady, guiding, built to outlast storms. Not a romance balancing on adrenaline, but a home built on mutual trust. Of course, both are busy in the way only actors at the crest of their careers can be: schedules that pull them into opposite worlds, sets that stretch dawns into nights. Yet out of that chaos, they carve out sacred hours, choosing presence over pretense. The people around them say they are planning forward in real terms, not someday, but soon, not eventually, but deliberately. Two paths, drawn to run side by side. You could see it at the awards. Each time someone said his name, her expression brightened as though someone had turned a light just behind her eyes. And when reporters pressed her for a date, something, anything, to circle on a calendar, she refused to turn love into logistics. She added that matters of the heart don't punch a clock, and sometimes a person simply knows their heart is ready. It was vague only if you were looking for a number. If you were listening for truth, it was clear as water. Backstage, people felt it. Stylists, actors, editors, people who live among sequins and schedules, whispered to each other that love sits on her shoulders beautifully. The phrase floated through the room like a refrain. Fashion insiders echoed it later, calling her a rare double force, a woman who can own the carpet and own a conversation, who can turn a gown into poetry and a press line into testimony. They praised the silhouette, the shimmer, the way her hair and face told the story, and still they kept returning to the words that outshone the wardrobe. Those who follow their story closely know that Gottberg's support has been constant, subtle, and strong. He doesn't chase the camera, but his steadiness is a headline all its own. Their friends talk about the way they encourage one another, pushing each other to grow without losing the softness that keeps growth humane. When she was asked why they shouldn't wait, she gave an answer that felt like it was meant for anyone who has ever stood at the edge of a decision and wondered if the world would approve. She said they can't predict what life will bring, so they don't want to delay sharing the same road. It was tender, and it was brave, and it landed like a truth most of us already carried inside. What do you think? In a culture that rewards waiting, that says prove it, test it, stretch it. Does your heart believe in acting when it knows? Or does patience still feel like the wiser companion? Tell us in the comments. Share your philosophy and your stories. And if you believe there is room online for gentle conversations about big feelings, the join button at Whispers of Turkish Stars is there to welcome you into our circle. The internet responded like a tidal pull. Her line about time and togetherness bounced across feeds and turned into digital keepsakes, set against sparkling images from the night. Fans called it the language of real love, the kind that doesn't hide behind riddles. And with that, imaginations did what they always do, leapt ahead to the future. Instantly there were guesses about dresses and venues, about guest lists and music, about whether the ceremony would be intimate and candlelit or joyful and grand. Thread after thread bloomed with ideas, with hopes, with the kind of collective daydream that only happens when people feel invited to care. While the digital world hummed, Gottberg remained measured and modest in public, allowing her statements to hold center stage. Yet those close to him say he echoed her heart in private, telling friends that there's nothing better than growing alongside the person who shares your dreams. The symmetry between their words, his discreet echo to her open note, painted a picture of two people tuned to the same key. For many watchers, the Lstyle Awards became more than a night of trophies. It became the turning of a page. Under the blaze of lights and the commotion of applause, something tender crossed a threshold. This wasn't just another celebrity couple giving the press a morsel. It felt like two people choosing to let the world see what they had already decided in quiet rooms. That they are not just in love but building a life, that the dream is not a rumor but a plan. This season, then, will be remembered not only for the dress that caught every star in the room but for the moment when she decided to let the nation feel the beat of her heart. She has never been one to stash her feelings behind mirrors. Instead, she wears them with the same courage she wore that gown, graceful, deliberate, unafraid. And in doing so, she reminded viewers that vulnerability, in the hands of someone grounded, looks a lot like strength. Eyes now turn forward. Every new photo, every message, every public appearance becomes a dot on a line fans are eager to connect. The fascination is reminiscent of royal weddings not because of titles, but because of the sense that something enduring is on the way. Rumors have always chased them, some wild, some mundane, but the prevailing whisper tonight is simple and stubborn. This story is moving toward a beautiful ceremony, not because it is flawless, but because it is sincere, immediate, and deeply felt. Thank you for spending this evening with Whispers of Turkish Stars as we trace the thread of a feeling that outshone 1,000 camera flashes. If the boldness of Özge Yağız's heart spoke to you, lift a like, subscribe for more, and share this video with someone who still believes the right words at the right time can change everything. And if you want to stand even closer to the fire where these stories are forged, the join button opens the door. Until we meet again, may your days bring you toward the love that makes you move, the kind that tells you the hour is now. And still, as the night cooled and the accolades were packed away, that single idea lingered like perfume: urgency without panic, patience without hesitation. Those who know them say they have been practicing this balance for a long time, stealing moments on weekday dawns, mapping calendars with care, surrendering to the quiet work of partnership that doesn't appear in headlines. It's the sort of steady labor that makes dramatic declarations feel less like theater and more like the natural next step of a faithful rhythm. After all, love stories don't become legends because they defy reality, they earn their glow by making room for reality and refusing to let it dim the heat. A red carpet can reveal many things: the way a dress floats, how a smile holds, but every once in a while, it reveals a plan. On this night, that plan looked less like spectacle and more like two people daring to cherish what they already know. And maybe that's the best kind of fashion statement, a life being fitted, stitch by stitch, in the shape of a future that both hearts have chosen. As the comments keep flooding in, as fan art blooms, as reels rewind her words again and again, we return to the beginning and the promise we made, that here, we search for the soul behind the shimmer. We saw it tonight. We saw a woman show how happiness can polish even the brightest diamond, how tenderness can make a room stop pretending it doesn't care. We saw a man answer without stepping forward, matching her music with a harmony you feel more than hear. So keep watching with us. Keep believing that inside the machine of fame there are still quiet rooms where two people decide the shape of their lives. Keep tuning in to Whispers of Turkish Stars for the moments when truth peeks out from behind the curtain and waves, shy but certain. There will be more gowns, more carpets, more applause, but the story we'll keep following is the one that started long before the first flash and will live on long after the last. Like, subscribe, and share, dear romantics. The join button is there for every heart that wants to help us keep telling it right. Good night, and may the love that calls your name find you listening.